And time for some multiplayer tips for the tactical class. Now, as I know most people have seen me just play Assault consistently, I do want to prove that yes, I actually do play tactical quite heavily, and I've got most of the perks for it. You know, all the ones for the Bolter except the last one. Working on the Storm Bolter, slowly getting there. As soon as my internet wants to cooperate, both for the Stalker, Vengeance Launcher, which, I'll be honest with myself, I'll never get that last perk. Plasma Gun, working on the last one, not that it's really worthwhile. Melt a Gun, and so, in case anyone wants to say, I never play the class, I do, I just don't record while I'm doing it. And to show it off, and another map, settings. I've never actually been on this map, so I have no idea what it looks like, because it's on Chaos Unleashed, and, well, good luck, trying to get a match on that set in these days. Go. That should be enough time for me to talk about the tactical, and deploy. The tactical class is very different from the assault one, obviously. The assault class, you can pick pretty much any set of perks so long as it's not like true grid or blast off. You can have an effective play so long as you pay attention to what you're doing during the game. The tactical is much more grounded in what you pick beforehand. This is the little dash roll that people need to get used to doing. It's a bit tricky to get, but you can move a little bit faster than you normally can. Yeah, well, I'll slowly get it. The tactical's perks generally range from poor to acceptable. Laraman's Blessing is probably the best of it. Weapons versatility beyond that. The tactical, you really need to have the weapons perks for this thing in order to have a very effective and a dominating match. That means you're going to be playing around a lot, just working on challenges and trying to get perks. It's going to be a couple of levels before you really get anything going. So when you first start playing, really what you want to do is get the Kraken bolts for the Bolter. Just first 4 levels, don't touch anything but the Bolter, don't hit copy loadout, just get that perk. You need it in order to have the Bolter be a lot more effective than what it is. And the same thing for all the other weapons. Once you get that weapon, get the first perk, don't worry about anything else. Once you have it, the weapon's a whole lot more effective, generally speaking, depending on what it is. In general, the ammo perks are just not worth it. Don't bother taking them ever, except for the Vengeance Launcher, because you don't have any real ammo. It takes 3 shots to kill somebody. That means you can down the maximum possible 6 people. For the Bolter, it's about 10, meaning 27. Comparable for the Storm Bolter, 1 shot, 1 kill for the Melt a Gun at certain ranges. So, for everything but the Vengeance Launcher, don't bother with the ammo perks. It's just not going to help. Why is this slowing down? Oh, there it goes. Strange. But much like the assault, the tactical has to pay attention to what's going on. You just can't plow into something and hope you're going to win. It's not going to work that well. You're going to die horribly, repeatedly. You're going to run screaming onto the forums that every other class is overpowered, they need a nerf, and people are going to laugh at you. Since I have the Melta out, generally this is the range of the gun you want someone to be at in order to hit and kill them instantly. It doesn't do headshot damage, I don't think, but it does seem to count it for experience, so it does seem to work in some fashion. If you get farther away, less damage. This will still do full damage. This will not. And if you're this close, you maybe do half damage. I think the weapon works by spawning a whole bunch of rays, and then they get out to a certain distance, those rays spawn more rays. That's where you need to be standing a little bit away from somebody in order to do full damage. If you're too close, there's just not enough rays to do anything. And, again, don't forget you have a bolt pistol as well. It's the same as the assault's 40 health damage, 20 armor damage, and a knife. Interrupt attacks as well. So if ever you see an assault running straight at you, hit him with an interrupt attack, he won't expect it. Either nuke him with a Melta, or just shoot him with any other gun. And to talk more specifically about the weapons, Vengeance Launcher, which is easily the hardest weapon in the game to learn, Yeah, it fires sort of fast, but considering how long it takes you to kill someone, it is a bit awkward. This is pretty much the effective range of the weapon. You can tag somebody 3 times, hit the R button 3 times, and they're dead. But this requires a fair amount of work, a lot more than most other guns where you just point, click, kill. You don't need to detonate them all at once. You can tag 3 onto one person when you've got the first perk, which allows you to have 5 active grenades. Put 2 on the next person, fire that next shot, detonating the first one, wait till that the flying grenade tags the person, hold down, hit R rapidly, and kill both of them. That will count for the multi-kill achievement. It's not as impossible as it looks, but it's a lot of work. Out. At distances, the thing gets really difficult to aim because it arcs so badly. Since I'm almost out of everything, I think it's time to suicide and pick another gun. Yeah, 5,000. I'll be here for a while. Hopefully there's a pit around here, otherwise it's going to be really odd. The Melt-A-Gun, since I've got it out as well. The faster recharge pretty much means that any assault, even with impenetrable, is going to lose a straight-up contest with you, so long as he doesn't sneak up on you, which it's entirely possible he can. Oh well, I can't get over that edge. Well, there should be some way of getting over. Again, the ammo perk for the Melt-A-Gun is even worse than useless because you're refilling on every shot. There's no way you'll ever run out of ammo for this gun in normal play unless you're really wasting shots. Even then, you could probably still kill him by accident. And as soon as I find out how to suicide, I'll bring up the bolter. Here's a pit. There we go. Splat. Armory. Pick that one. The plasma gun. Yeah, let's do this one instead. Hey. Plasma gun. There we go. Wrong button. Now I've got the faster charge perk on this one. It takes about twice as long to do that ordinarily. It doesn't reload, but if you fire a bunch of shots and just let it sit, it will cool off on its own. So don't feel the need to hit it all the time, especially if you're just running from one fight to the next. The plasma gun does 30 points of health damage and 60 points of armor damage. In general, this means one shot will break an assault's armor so long as he doesn't have impenetrable. So what you want to do is fire the first shot on an assault, fire the second one. If he doesn't have any kind of red splash effect, it means he's got an impenetrable on. If it does, fire one more time, get a charge shot, blast him, he's dead. Charge shot does 75 points of damage total, doesn't matter what it's against. So if you do a charge shot against an assault who's got 60 points of armor, you're essentially overkilling and not overflowing that damage at all. A lot of people will try that. Yeah, it'll knock their armor off, but it won't do any other damage. You're going to have to sit a second to do any further attacks, and then he'll probably kill you. I haven't tagged that one in, I don't really care. The first perk on it just requires you to kill 50 people. It's a lot easier to do this for Devastators because they have the habit of, sitting down, not moving, so you can just come up there, rapidly tap them. The accuracy for it is a bit weird. In theory, it's about as accurate as the bolter, but because there's a slight delay between when you hit the button and when it fires because it does the charge shot, you can generally miss the target if they're moving quickly because it's not firing when you think it should be. So you may need to lead them a little bit as you're shooting. The plasma gun, of course, is most useful against Devastators because single charge shot, armor's gone. You probably haven't overkilled it to any degree because most of them would be running around with like Iron Halo anyway, so. Now I know the tooltips say that you can fire off 2 in rapid succession. You can actually fire 3 if you're quick enough, without needing to vent. It's feasible to kill an assault that way, but I wouldn't bother. It's much easier just to double or triple tap than fire the charge shot and kill him. I know for a while a lot of people are saying this gun was not very useful against assaults because it didn't do as much health damage, but since you're dropping their armor in one hit, and then just killing them, 3 or 4 more after that, yeah, it's even better against assaults because it's doing they have less health, so any kind of damage will work faster. Anything else to bring up with the plasma gun? The enlarged chamber is just more shots. Not useful at all in regular multiplayer play. More useful in Exterminatus. I've not really played it all that much. I tend to do it just on my own, and usually I don't get very far, but... And Suicide, next gun. Splat. Armory. Stalker Bolter. This sniper weapon. I've got burst fire on this just to kind of show it off. Again, the armor ammo perk, not useful at all. Now, a lot of people, when they're not doing scope shots, will aim for the chest, because the next shot generally pops up and hits them in the face. A shot from the Stalker Bolter, no matter where it hits, does 40 points of damage. Headshot, regardless of whether their armor is up or not, will do 120. So an assault who's running at you and takes one in the chest and then another one in the face is instantly dead without impenetrable. It doesn't always pop straight up, but it can occasionally, and there's not much an assault can do, especially if he's close range, because even the smallest inaccuracy won't matter much. Now for distance shots, burst fire is not going to help at all because the accuracy is going to be ruined. You might be able to get him twice, but it doesn't increase the firing speed that much to really be worthwhile. It's most useful against Devastators because, again, they like to plant their feet, pop them in the head twice, and they're generally dead. It's 240 points of damage. If they've got Iron Halo on, they'll be just barely alive, but if they've taken any damage, they won't be alive for much longer. Also, one thing you need to get used to when you're sniping, don't plant your feet. I know I mentioned a lot of Devastators do it. They're the impression they're invincible, they've got too much health to really care. If they're not paying attention, planted their feet, you're either going to get, flanked yourself or have an assault run by and eat your face off. Don't do it. You can move forward while you're firing, and it's not necessarily a bad idea to quickly do a scope look and see if there's anyone over there. The Stalker Bolter is not a great close range weapon except with the burst fire. That completely changes its role. If you've got burst fire, you're not going to be able to snipe to any meaningful degree unless you're really, really close, in which case, why bother scoping? With burst fire, it's basically a somewhat longer range melt-a-gun. You can, pick people off without them really being able to do much about it. Like here. Enemy spawn zones there, they drop down, pop, pop, dead. It's something they won't necessarily be expecting. I've never played on this map before, but it looks like spawn camping would be a serious problem. Oh, I won. Yay me. I have victory over no one. Deaths too. How'd I get that high a score? Huh. Oh, I must have run out of time, that's why. Yeah, I beat no one. Game settings, let's see, another map I haven't played. Desolation, I've got a Chem Refinery. Don't think I've done that one yet. I've recorded matches, but it kind of blew up, so didn't do quite well. The Bolter. A lot of people don't like using this weapon once they get another one. It's their first weapon. It's not sexy enough. And a lot of people walk away from it, and it's really quite sad. It's a very good weapon. Not a lot of people use it because it's the first weapon and they want something more exotic. But this weapon can do a lot of damage very quickly. Now, I think someone on the forums calculated it out. It does about 20 points of armor damage. Kraken bolts, no, it's about, I think it was 16 or so points of armor damage for regular shot. Kraken bolts, I think, up to about 20 or 23. Headshots, once the armor is broken, have a 2.5 multiplier, so it does about 50 per shot. So, quick, aim for the head, armor goes down, 2 more shots, they're dead. And of course I bought the Relic Bolter because I'm vain like that and want everything to be gold, as you can see from my armor. Now Kraken bolts slow the firing rate down but also make it more accurate. This also has the bolter targeter, the classic super bolter on it. Now the tooltip says it penetrates cover. It does not penetrate much of any cover of any significance. If you can see through it like a wire mesh, it should go through that, but there's no guarantee it will. Now, run around the map. Now the bolter is good at pretty much any range. It's generally accurate enough for long distance shots, fast enough for close distance kills. It's an